Dear children, we have completed all very interesting lessons till now. Right now, the next one we are going to start the most adventurous one. So here, adventures you can remember that we have bravery. Then only we can do any adventures. Otherwise, we cannot do any adventures. Right, children? So here, the daring little boy. This only can understand. Little boy, but very daring, very brave. You have idea about this brave? So let's see what is this and what happened in this lesson. So brave means who is showing very courage. So for any kind of work, yes, let's do. Should not fear about anything. So that kind of attitude here. So the daring little boy, how many years is he? Or else, and what kind of daring work he had done, we can see in this lesson. See this. So have you done something that is brave in your opinion and that act has been appreciated by others? So have you done something that is brave in your opinion? So have you done that kind of work? So which is very brave in your opinion. What is the meaning of brave in your opinion? That act has been appreciated by others. Some work we have done, for that all the people should appreciate us. Yes, you have done very well. Excellent work you have done. No one can do this kind of work in your age. So like that some people should appreciate. So what is the meaning of appreciate? Can you remember this, children? Appreciate means praised. So some people should praise us that you have done excellent work. So we must always be alert in every situation and be brave in critical situations. So we must always be alert in every situation. Yes, we must be always be alert in every situation and be brave in critical situations. Yes, our life is so many struggles we have. For every small thing also, if we are started to afraid of every situation, we will be afraid. That's why we cannot afraid of anything. We cannot feel fear. We should be very brave to face any kind of situation. Every problem we have a solution. So we should try to solve them. We should face them with bravery. Okay, children. So it will help us to fight in the situation. So if we are very brave, then that courage will help us to face any kind of situation. So read the story to know how the bravery of a little boy saved his motherland. Motherland means own place, right? Native place. So here in this story, a little boy, how he saved his motherland with his bravery. What is that? Let's see in the lesson. So many years ago, there lived in Harlem a bright, friendly boy named Hans Brinker. So many years ago, long years ago, it was happened. What happened? There lived in Harlem. What is this Harlem? Harlem means Forest Dune, we call it. Forest Dune. So that is which is near to the sea or lake or rivers like that. Mostly sea. Near to the sea. Forest but near to the sea. Okay, so they lived in Harlem. Harlem is the place which is near to the sea. And a bright, friendly boy named Hans Brinker. What is the name of the boy here? Hans Brinker. Hans Brinker. And his father worked at the dike. His father worked at the dike. What is the meaning of dike? What is the meaning of the dike, children? See that dike meaning a wall built to prevent the sea or river from sea or river from covering an area. From covering an area. So the place, so some place near to the sea, so covering, occupying some area, so that is a wall they built it. Nothing but like our gates of the river or else any canals like that, to stop the water. They store the water or stop the water without coming out. Whenever necessary, we open the gates and we send the water out. So that kind of one, these are dikes. Okay, children. So his father worked at the dike. So a wall built there. So that gates are there. So whenever the overflow of water or else necessary, they open the gates very properly and they send the water out, and again they close the water. That kind of work. His job was to open and close the large gates at the entrances of the canals to control the flow of water. So at that big wall, so his job is, that is whose job? Hans Brinker's job. Hans Brinker's father's job. Hans' father's job was to open and close the large gates at the entrances of the canals to control the flow of water. So the flow of water they get it now. That to control it. He had to close the gates carefully at night, else the water would soon overflow and flood the place. So he very carefully at night time he should close all the gates. Otherwise, within overnight the total area will be filled with the water. So flood they get it. Flood means na. So fill all the water get into our houses and we cannot. So we cannot come out, we cannot walk. So like that we get it. So here the flood they get it. So he should control all this water by closing the gates. Hans' father had told him that a big part of their country lay lower than the level of the sea. Hans' father had told him that a part of their country, what did he say? Lay lower than the level of the sea. So where their place is lower than the level of the sea. So whenever the sea overflows, immediately the total lower part of their place will be flooded, right? That's why for a very long time in the past, Hollanders used mounds of earth to save their land from tides. So to save their lands. So for a very long time, once in those days, in the past, most of the times they were affected. That's why Hollanders means here people from a native people of Netherlands. So those people used mounds of earth to save their land from tides. So for this kind of floods, for all this, to save their lands, they started, that is mounds of earth. Mounds of earth means hills. Hills are mountains. Mounds means, we can take it, hills are mountains. Hills are mountains. So the earth they maintain it. So up and downs. So to cover the water without getting the flow of water from the sea easily. So without getting that, and now they had learned to construct dikes or barriers. So later first they constructed the earth up and downs like that to get it, and later to control the water. But whenever they create these mounds and hills and like this, but the flow of water is coming. That's why later they learned to construct the dikes and barriers. So then they stopped the water maximum. Hans knew that a moment's neglect of his father's duty could cause destruction and death. So could cause destruction and death. So what happened? Suppose Hans know about his father's duty. Suppose if his father neglects his work just a minute also, so that cause distract. So what is the distract? So destruction means destroy something. Destruction means destroy something, damage something, destroy something or damage something. So something may be damaged. Which will be damaged? So first of all the place, total place. So that will be damaged. So that's why. And the most of the people also will die because of the overflow of water, flood of water. So Hans was a caring and selfless boy and always wanted to share all he had. So Hans' father duty is very caring duty. Every minute you should be alert. And what about Hans? Hans is very caring and selfless. He is not at all selfish. He is a selfless boy and always wanted to share all he had. So do you share anything to your friends? Yes, very good. So like that everyone should share with others. Here Hans also share everything whatever he had. One bright spring day, his mother had made his favorite cake. So one day his mother prepared a favorite cake to you. So a favorite delicious cake means how will you enjoy? Yes, the same way here Hans also enjoyed it. After eating his share, so all the 3 members family, so how much he can eat, that is only he had eaten, and he begged his mother to let him go to the other side of the dike. Dike means a wall created there to control the water, right? Other side, this side they are, and other side of the dike. To see a poor blind man who lived there. So there a poor blind man is there. He lives there. So this Hans wanted to go to that poor blind man to visit him. So he requested his mother. So he wanted to give him a portion of the delicious cake. So he wanted to give the portion, part of the delicious. What is the delicious? Delicious means very tasty. Delicious means very tasty. So that very tasty cake he wanted to share with that old blind man. So that's why he wanted to go. His mother was pleased that her little boy had thought of the poor old man. So his mother also impressed that her little boy had a great interest and a great thought to go to the poor old man, to help the poor old man. So she at once brought a basket and filled it with cakes for him to carry to the man. So immediately she brought a basket and filled in a box filled up with all the cakes. So more and more cakes she kept it and she handed it over to the Hans. That means mother also very caring and helpful woman, right? So Hans' father made his 8-year-old son promise not to stay out too late. So Hans' father, so he said, no, he has taken the promise from his son. So you must not spend much time, should come early, not too late. That he asked. Yes, Hans also, yes dad, definitely before sunset I will be back. That he promised there. And soon the boy was on his way, thinking how happy the old man would be. Yes, on the way he remembered, he expected, he thought, yes, if the old blind man, if he sees me, definitely he feels so excited. He will be very happy, that he thought. So the little fellow was not mistaken. So whatever he expected, that was not at all mistaken. Really he felt so happy. The old man was delighted to have the cake. So the old man was delighted. Delighted means, do you know children, delighted, you got in the previous classes also. Delighted means very happy. Delighted means very happy. So he was very happy to see this boy, and he had eaten that cake, he had taken that cake. After spending an hour with him, Hans said goodbye and started for his home. Yes, he promised to his father, I'll come early. So then 1 hour, 1.5 hours like that he spent with that old man, and later he said goodbye and he started to his house. So His path lay beside the dike. So his path means way. So how to come? That is beside the dike only they have the place. So road. So along its grassy banks grew beautiful wild flowers, so attractive that Hans picked a bunch of them for his mother. So along its grassy banks means filled up total grass. Banks means water is there, na? So there, while he is coming on the way, he is a beautiful green grass and green grass fields, and in that only some wild flowers which are very attractive. So pretty flowers those are. So that attractive flowers are there. So he picked up a bunch of them. For whom? For his mother. So he walked home humming a happy song. He was very excited to meet that old man and gave those cakes to him. That's why he was very excited, and by singing a songs, he was coming. As he was walking along the canal, he thought of his father's brave old gates and felt glad about their strength. For thought Hans, if the dikes gave way, where would father and mother be? So if the dikes gave way, where would father and mother be? So immediately he thought about that. As he was walking along the canal, so canal means water, this like the river. So while he was coming there, so he thought of his father's brave old gates and felt glad about their strength. So old gates, those people constructed those gates. So and very glad about those gates also, because so for thought Hans, he thought about that. Suppose if they are not much strong, so then they cannot control the water. If they cannot control the water, what about the people who are staying there? Even his mother and father, what about them? So if the dikes gave way, where would father and mother be? Suppose if the dikes give away, so if the dikes are not there, what about father and mother? Can they live? Not at all. These pretty fields would all be covered with the angry waters. So even now there is a total grass and fields looking very pretty, beautiful. But these filled up with the angry waters. Angry waters, why he compared this water as the angry? So because, described as angry, because here the water spoils the life of everyone there. That's why he used the water as angry waters. So father always calls them the angry waters. Even his father also calls that water as angry water, because it spoils the life of the human beings who lived there and the nature also there, right? That's why he said, I suppose he thinks they are mad at him for keeping them out so long. So I suppose he thinks they are mad at him. So always he thinks, my father thinks that they are mad at him for keeping them out so long. So maximum he controls, and he is not allowing that water to go out much. That's why the water also may feel about my father that he is mad. So he also listened to the stealthy sound of a rabbit in the grass and smiled as he recalled the happy light he had seen on the face of his blind old friend. So here that he also listened to the stealthy. So what is the meaning of the stealthy? Stealthy means behaving or done in a cautious. Stealthy. Stealthy means behaving or done in a cautious. Done in a cautious and superstitions. Manner. Okay, so here he in that place while he was coming back, he saw a rabbit here. So he listened to the steady sound of a rabbit in the grass and smiled. So he heard that sounds. Yes, in the grass fields, if you are going, different sounds of animals or birds, we get it, na? Like that he got it. As he recalled the happy light he had seen in the face of his blind old friend. So that old friend is then an old man, blind old man. So his face, when he had given, when he visited him, when he had given that cakes, his face was lit up, right? So very happy. So by recalling that, he felt so happy. Hans felt so happy. Suddenly he noticed that the sun was setting and he was still some distance from home. So suddenly he noticed that the sun was setting. So actually sunset. Sunset means before sunset only he needed to reach his house. He promised his father, right? And he was still some distance, but still much distance is there from home. It was growing dark and even the blue flowers had turned to grey. So for the night time those flowers color will change, no? I mean not clear, that's why looking like that. So even the blue color flowers also changed, turned into grey color, grey color flowers. So that means when the darkness happened, the total weather also changed there. So the total surroundings also became dark. But just as he began to walk quickly, he heard the sound of trickling water. So just as he began, when he observed, yes, it's going dark, I should go fast. Immediately he started to go fast. At that time, suddenly he heard the sound of trickling water. What is the trickling water? Trickling. Trickling means flow of some water. Flow of some water. So that flow in a small stream or flow of some water that he had seen there, that he heard there. Where did it come from? He looked up and saw a small hole in the dike through which a tiny stream was flowing. So where was it? Where was this where did it come from? So he heard the sound and immediately he saw there. So how is it possible? Where did it come? He looked up and a small hole in the dike through which a tiny stream was flowing. So tiny, small stream was flowing. So there he saw a small hole and from that water is flowing. So that it starts means obviously get more and more water and total place will be flooded. Okay. That's why any child in Holland would be filled with fear at the thought of a leak in the dike. So already they have idea about this. So once the dike starts to leak or the water starts from that means the total Holland would be in water. Flood we get it. So should be careful. Always we should be very careful. Like that they thought so many times. But they know everyone who is in the Holland, everyone knows about that. So now here the same way generally any other people means immediately they feel that definitely they run away from that and they are afraid of that and they want to intimate some other or else they may afraid of it. But here what he did we can see. Any child in Holland would be filled with fear at the thought of a leak in the dike. So yes, the leak in the dike means definitely any child would be fear. Hans understood the danger, but already Hans' father is telling number of times na, so the water should not come out, especially in the night time. If we get immediately, the total Holland would be in the flood. Like that he was telling. That's why that little hole would soon become a large one and result in a terrible flood. So immediately understood the danger. What was the danger? The little hole would soon become a very large hole. So if we don't control in the small hole, later it becomes very big one and the total place would be flooded. So that he observed. Terrible flood we get it, he thought it. Quick as a flash, he saw his duty. So, quick as a flash, suddenly struck in his mind some idea. So, immediately he remembered, that is, he saw his duty. He saw his duty means he did his work. What is that? Throwing away his flowers, that wild flowers he collected for his mother. Na? So, immediately he threw his those flowers. The boy clambered up the heights until he reached the hole. The boy clambered up the heights. Clambered means, do you know, climb or move up. So clambered means climb or move up. Okay, ma. So climb or move up. So that he clambered up. Here for the height place, that's why he clambered up the heights until he reached the hole. So actually the hole is on the dike gates, but they are in the lower part there. So immediately he reached that place and hole. He saw the leak could be stopped with one finger. So he saw, yes, one finger if he put it, he can stop the leakage there. But he can stop the leakage, but the problem is here. First, you should stop it. If we don't stop that, then immediately the hole will become very big one, and the total water will come out. Right? That's why very necessary to stop that water with the little finger.